Come on and join us now, won't you?
Oh, yeah.
It's time for Comfort Time Live. Comfort Time Live. Comfort Time Live is a live call-in radio show where you can help discuss air conditioning, heating, energy saving, indoor air quality, and dealing with contractors. Comfort Time Live. And now, here's your host, your personal comfort consultant, tackling all of your home comfort issues. Here he is, live on your radio and the World Wide Web. Here's Tom Platania.
Hey, well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Thursday evening of Comfort Time Live. The weather is actually not too bad out tonight.
Not too hot,
Yeah.
not too cool.
Not too hot.
It's not
Well,
raining. There's a plus.
Yeah, not raining. That's a good thing. It rained on the way up here just a little bit.
Oh.
So, but it, wait 30 seconds when you're driving, it stops. Wait 30 seconds, it rain.
And if it
Wait
rains
30
too
sec-
much, just pull under a bridge, right?
No, I don't pull under bridges.
You didn't ride the bike in?
No.
okay.
Skates, rollerblades,
Oh,
rollerblades.
On I-95? No
Yeah,
wonder there were so many wrecks.
I do like the Back to the Future thing. Grab onto the bumper, go to the next one, go to the next one.
Oh, yeah. You only mess up once.
Oh, well, thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, you can always go to comforttimelive.com and watch the show live, audio, and video. And if you go and peek, I got a secret for you. If you go and peek into comforttimelive.com right now, you're going to see, before I introduce this individual, you're going to see a special guest in the studio with us who's helping to keep Comfort Time Live going. So
You're welcome, Tom. I don't know what to say.
Oh my gosh, God, I thought my head was swelling sometimes. Jeez, Joe.
You're introducing a guest. I know.
Absolutely. So comforttimelive.com. Now, hey, we got the next month and a half, we are booked solid with guests. So you're not going to be able to just sit here and look at my ugly mug, Cliff. You're going to have other people like the lovely young ladies with us this evening. You're going to be able to see all kinds of other folks. Now,
I can hardly see you on the webcam with her sitting there. Why don't you introduce her to everybody?
I will in just a second. I will, saving the best for last.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna have now. Remember, so July 11th. So next week we're off because I guess the radio show station's celebrating July 4th, right?
What's that? Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
a day off. That's
Yeah.
right. See, they don't tell
You
me
get
about
that day off?
They never tell me until the day before because they don't want me to anticipate.
I let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah.
So July 11th, we have one of our new sponsors, United Water Restoration, who's going to be on the air with us. Now, if you have any questions about your water heater blowing up or mold or remediation or anything of that nature, give us a call on that show. That's Thursday, July 11th. Right here at the studio for United Water Restoration. July 18th, we're going to have Howard Ersom with Chinese Drywall Screenings going to be live on the air with us, talking about how Chinese drywall is not a thing of the past. It is still here, and it is still giving us problems, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are one of the folks that are still dealing with this, you got to make sure you give us a call here at the studio on July 18th to talk to Howard. Then on July 25th, we have our good old John from Elite Electric and Air, one of our great sponsors, has been with us for quite a while. He'll be here on the air helping answer a lot of your air conditioning questions and your electrical questions. So we want to thank all those folks. And then we have another gentleman, Steve Larson, from Larson's Fan Company, is going to be on the air with us probably at the beginning of August. So we got a packed month and a half, so don't miss it. And you're not going to have to just listen to me talk. You can hear all kinds of great information.
And you'll be able to call in, too, and ask questions.
Exactly. Just like our very special guest that we have here with us this evening, who we're very, very pleased to have her on. We've been trying for a long time to find an outstanding insurance company. And you know what? It's not easy to find someone like Miss Kathy Post from Post Insurance.
Well, thank you very much.
Welcome to the show. And, we do a lot of research about our guests on the show, and believe it or not, there's some insurance companies out there that don't have the greatest reputation.
Really?
Yeah,
Don't say.
that's probably surprising to you, isn't
so
it, Gabby?
surprising. Yeah, right.
Shocker!
Yeah. But, there's actually a little, just to kind of clarify, an insurance company are the
Okay.
ones who actually provide the coverage and the policies. Your
Okay.
local are considered insurance agencies. So we represent a variety of companies.
So you're the agency.
So we're the agency.
So I need to yes, we'll clarify
well,
that. Then.
only because as the discussion moves forward,
Okay.
that it definitely changes the way things are received. So
Okay.
the companies are the ones who actually issue the policies
I see.
and pay the claims, and then the agents are the ones who represent those. And yes, those are not always as ethical either.
Yeah, I would probably think, are they as regulated as much as the companies?
Regulated? No,
No, they're not.
not at all.
So we have a better opportunity to, sweep some things under the rug.
Or just misrepresent,
Yeah.
or just not ask the right questions.
And that's probably why I
then-
found some of their names on the do not call list.
And it's not always intentional.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah, of course it's not for most of them.
right.
Yeah, but a lot of them it's. So what got you into insurance?
Well, actually, I grew up in St. Lucie County.
Sorry to hear that.
No,
And-
okay. So I moved to Port St. Lucie in the late '60s when I was just a wee pup, and there was really not much there. So I grew up in this area.
You must have
There
been a
was
wee
nothing
pup
there,
if you moved in
nothing.
the late '60s. You must have been a
I was
wee
really,
pup.
really wee pup,
Yeah, I
actually.
mean-
But grew up in Port St. Lucie, and my dad had been in the insurance business, and in the late '70s, he decided to open an agency in the living room of our house in Port St. Lucie, and so I just did all the things that a good daughter does when she's young and 13, 14, and out of school and for summer break.
Staying
and
out late, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, those kinds of
getting
things.
Call, yeah, skipping
right, yeah.
school.
Oh,
Learn
sure,
how to
yeah.
become an insurance agent.
But I can't really say that I chose insurance. Insurance really just kind of chose me. I grew up in an insurance family, and I love the concept. I learned early on how important it is, and if it's written properly and you do the right thing, that it really gives people a great deal of peace of mind, and it can save them financially. And so I was very fortunate that I was able to learn that early on. And so really from the time that I was in high school and I took a job seriously with my dad, from then on, it's just been kind of in my blood. And I kind of joke that really I didn't choose this path. It chose me.
Yeah.
And I really am an insurance geek. There's several of us out there who like reading policies and like determining coverage.
Oh my
and
gosh, I go because of like the first paragraph or something.
yeah, that's a snoozer.
I was hire a lawyer to read my policy to me.
Never have a midnight
Translated.
cocktail, a night cocktail while you're reading something like that. It's even worse.
Yeah, it's even worse at that point. Yeah, exactly. But my agency is an independent agency,
Okay.
and so we represent a lot of different insurance companies, and so we get a good broad-based opportunity to be able to serve customers by offering them a lot of different options.
Now, is there a reason that you as an agent would choose not to represent a company?
There is
Okay.
several reasons. One could be just poor reputation. Maybe
Okay.
they don't have a good claims paying reputation. Could be the size of a company. It's a little tricky in Florida because we don't have as many of the big players in the homeowner market as we used to. But
What is the reason for that? They stopped
basically
writing-
hurricanes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
The dreaded
because
H
they can't
hurricane word.
make the $650,000 billion a year by representing hurricanes. So the CEO at the top can't make
At
all
least
the
they're
money.
being honest about it.
They say, we don't want you to take down our entire corporation, so we're not going
Wow.
to play in Florida. But basically, there's some really great companies in Florida that we do represent. But I think agents do have a responsibility to do their best to try to make sure that they are looking for companies that are going to be here for the long term, and who are going to pay claims when claims should be paid. Not every claim is covered, and sometimes that's kind of hard for consumers to hear. And I'm sure we'll talk about that a little
Yeah.
bit later. But that's kind of what we do.
Now, what different types of products and services do you offer to your company?
We actually are a full service multi-line insurance agency. So we focus on property and casualty, which means we do personal lines, auto, home, RV, boats, motorcycles, almost anything you
Is
can
that
think
what full
of.
service means?
Well, that, and then we also have a commercial division. So
Okay.
a commercial insurance, which we write business insurance for retailers and contractors and offices, and kind of run the gamut on the office and on the business side too. So what we don't do any longer is life insurance, financial services, and health insurance, particularly health insurance. So over the years, the agency has changed. Our business model hasn't changed.
Didn't make you want to jump on the bandwagon?
Yeah, that was the icing on the cake right there, baby.
I'm going to get back into this.
There are specialists in town that really do a great job of keeping up with all that. And when the time came, we just knew that our business was moving in a different direction. So.
Okay. Good. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and on the other side of the break, we're going to come back and we're going to be asking all kinds of questions. If you have questions about your homeowner's policy or anything of that, give us a call here at 772-340-1590, 340-1590. You're listening to Kathy Post from Post Insurance on Comfort Time Live, and we will be right back.
And no, that's not Tom's hair thinning. I'm sorry, that's not gray hair. That's his hair thinning on the webcam.
Thanks, Cliff.
You're welcome, Tom. 340-1590, Comfort Time Live.
You need electric.
We can do it.
You need electric.
There's nothing to it.
You need electric.
Ooh, amazing.
You need electric.
Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie.
Elite Electric specializes in all of your electrical needs, from security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Elite Electric has been family-owned and operated on the Treasure Coast since 1988, and they're recommended by Comfort Time Live. Visit online at eliteelectricandair.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live every Thursday evening at 6:05 on WPSL 1590.
No matter what you want, just pick up your phone, say, come on, Elite.
And we'll get the job done.
We can do it.
You need electric.
There's nothing to it.
You need electric.
Being properly prepared for hurricane season means more than just cleaning up the lawn. Don't miss Tom Platania and Comfort Time Live June 27th, when special co-host Kathy Post from Post Insurance will help educate on costly insurance mistakes, being properly prepared for hurricane season, and knowing whether you have the proper coverage to protect yourself in case of a storm. That's Comfort Time Live with special co-host Kathy Post from Post Insurance, Thursday, June 27th at 6:05 on WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
And now, time to buckle your seatbelts. We are now into the second round of this week's exciting edition of Comfort Time Live. Once again, here's Tom Platania.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, don't forget, we're off next week, but July 11th, we're going to have Chris with United Water Restoration on with us, and then we have Howard Ursum and then John from Elite Electric joining us on the 27th. So don't forget to tune into Comfort Time Live and get all your questions together. Now, we have Kathy Post with Post Insurance with us here this evening. Now, full service provider, so anything you want to talk about, car insurance, home insurance, anything at all, give us a call, 772-340-1590, about 621 right now, and give us a call and she'll answer your questions. So we're choking on it. She got me all choked up.
I know why you won't be here next week. Next week?
No, do you have the sound of alcohol pouring into a glass or no?
No, the fireworks are too loud.
The fire. And me, I got the boat club, and every year, every holiday, I always forget and wait till the last minute
And then it booked.
to rent the boat. And of course, the holidays. Every day that there's not a holiday, I'm on top of it. I'm weeks out. But
Sorry,
anyhow,
Tom, we just rented out the last boat.
yeah, Father's Day, all those special holidays. I'm like the week before. I'm like, oh, I better book the boat. Yeah, okay.
We have one left. It's a slow boat, and it goes to China, but it's a pebble.
That's about what I am. So now, question. Obviously, we got the hurricanes coming up.
Yes.
And
Hurricane season has started.
now, once hurricane season starts, what is a homeowner's option if they do not have hurricane insurance?
Well, actually, it doesn't really mean there's the fictitious date of June 1st is
Okay.
the beginning of hurricane season, but we have had tropical storms and problems before June 1st in the
Right.
past. So really, this is just when the activity really starts, and then of course it gets really busy August, September. When hurricanes are heading this way, and they could just be tropical storms, insurance companies are keeping a real close eye on where they are and where they think they're going to land. And sometimes the cone of opportunity is pretty broad, but it used to be that there was these longitudinal, latitudinal lines that the insurance company said, hey, when it hits this, we're shutting down and we're not going to issue any new policies. Well, that's no longer the case. And so what happens now is they just, whenever they feel like it, whenever they feel like the storm is either heading a particular way or a particular direction, they will start restricting our ability to write coverage. And it's not just homeowners. It's all kinds of property insurance. It can be something like you buy a new car and you call me. If they've closed our ability to write new policies or issue new coverage, I may
Wow.
not be able to insure your new car.
Even on a car.
Even on a car. Could be buying a
Is there
boat.
hurricane insurance on a car?
There is.
Are you
if
serious?
you purchase it, there is
The
coverage
tree
for.
falls on your
I
car.
would-
What are you going to do?
Yes.
Do you hear it?
Well,
Oh, wait, no,
don't-
that's if a tree
it's
falls
in
on the car in the woods.
Oh.
I was
So-
joking when I said that.
Yes.
There's hurricane insurance on
yes.
a car.
Under your comprehensive coverage, you have coverage for wind, and you would have coverage if a tree falls on it. You would have coverage for flooding on your car. Yes.
Now,
if
is
you
that
carry
something
comprehensive
special
coverage.
you have to ask for on
Well,
the car? or
if
no?
you have a newer vehicle or
Right.
if you have a lien holder on your vehicle, you will generally have
Okay.
comprehensive coverage.
And that's what it's
and
part
that is
of.
what it's part of. It's
Okay,
part of comprehensive
okay.
coverage. Yes. So
I was
yes.
to say I've never heard, and of course, I don't read past the part that says my name and address
And the
and,
amount
and
you
how
owe.
much I'm paying. Yeah, after I
That's the
get to that, I'm
important
like,
part,
oh,
yeah.
this damn thing, right?
Exactly. But so, it's important though that people not wait till the last minute to either buy insurance or
Okay.
if they've maybe put an addition on their home, that they don't wait to the last minute to think, oh my gosh, I forgot to call my agent, because if they call, we may have to say, I'm sorry, we have to wait till the storm passes.
Wow.
Which in some cases can really hold people up from buying new homes, from closings, from things like that. And then several years ago, when we had storm after storm after storm, we were closed down for days on end, and we might get a couple of hours here and there when we would be able to write, but you don't want to wait till the last minute. You really want to be
not.
very proactive about making sure that you've got proper coverage and not waiting. Particularly if you're buying a home, you want to make sure you've got all that lined up well before your closing date when you're
Oh,
in
I
the middle
can
of hurricane
imagine
season.
doing that at the wrong time and going to close and find out that you're shut down on insurance. Oh my gosh.
Right,
And
exactly.
I'm sure that's probably
Well,
happened.
after you close, you got your insurance payments and your escrow, and you're all set.
Yeah.
Everything's good. So
All
so
is
it's really important though, because you can't predict, and we can't even predict at this point, how and when insurance companies are going to start restricting our binding. So
Wow.
and different companies look at it differently. So where we might have company A that shuts down in one regard, another company might still be writing, but they pretty much follow suit, usually within a
Right.
good 24-hour period.
Wow. 772-340-1590. If you'd like to call and ask Kathy some questions about your homeowner's policy or automobile policy or anything in between, don't hesitate to give us a call. And we do have a caller. We have Paul on the line. Paul, welcome to Comfort Time Live.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, how are you this evening?
We're doing great. How about yourself?
Good. Good time to call in. I've got a question on homeowners insurance.
Okay.
In the past 2 years, my premium has gone from $1,700 to $3,400. Nothing's changed. It's the same house. I mean, I've done some improvements on it, but other than that, I've got the wind mitigation done, getting my pretty much full credit for the roof part of it and everything in the the house. But one of my questions is relation to the valuation. I know what you're buying them for is not necessarily what you can rebuild them for, but they're evaluating my house at just a shade under $200,000 to rebuild. It was purchased for $60. It was a short sale, so there was some leeway there as far as that goes. But right now, it's probably in the area of, to put it on the high side, 90.
So your question
Why
is,
do
why
I
is it going
pay-
up?
Why am I paying $197,000 valuation to replace it as far as the insurance company is concerned?
Well, basically, the insurance company's evaluation is based on pure replacement costs, so pure numbers to rebuild that house. So if you take the analogy that you could take your house and put it on the beach, right on the ocean, and it could sell for $2.5 million, or put it where it is now and sell it for 150, it still would cost virtually the same to rebuild it. So the market value of your home and in any home has no impact or bearing on what the replacement value of your home from an insurance perspective is. Likewise, the tax assessor also has a value that they've placed on the house, and that
Right.
does not play into the insurance value either. So what insurance companies do is they do a lot of research and they develop these programs that, and they don't actually do them, there's third parties that do it, but they develop how
Right.
much would it actually cost to rebuild. And there's additional costs that come into play when you have to rebuild your home. A lot of times there's engineering costs, there's tear out costs, there's items in there that are not the same as if you had to build it new. But most insurance companies right now are running somewhere between $100 and $120 per square foot on a replacement cost value. And we get that question quite a bit, Paul. And it's really, and the total losses that I have seen, nobody has ever said, oh my gosh, that was too much coverage, because we really track very closely what it's going to cost to have to rebuild that house from the ground up.
Well, that's what I was told too. It's replacement cost, but with the economy being what it is, and in the building industry so depressed, is that a true figure? I mean, you
That
could
is a true
probably
figure.
go out and get a separate, a private builder to replace this for, half of that. But there again, you got to get into the engineering. I'm sure it's an older home, so you got to bring it up to the new codes, and
Right.
that all plays into it. Is that the
Licensed
expense now a lot?
Right, there is those expenses that go into it as well. But, the reason why contractors are not, building as much as they were is because right now you can buy for a whole lot less than you can contract a
Right,
house to
right.
build. So the construction costs really have not gone down as the economy has gone down. Materials have not gone down. All those costs have not gone down. So rebuild costs have not been affected by the economy as has the market value.
And I'm a stick-built house too.
Right.
Wood
Yeah. Frame
frame.
houses, I
So
can tell
if
you.
it was CB, well, you're going to lose the house, but you're not going to lose the blocks. So you just replace your interior and your roof. Whereas with this, it would be a complete replacement.
Well, except that insurance companies don't look for partial losses. They have to insure for 100% total loss. And there are concrete block houses that can be total losses.
Right,
So we look at that for the total. But I can tell you that over the last 2 years, we have seen substantial rate increases, particularly on frame houses. So, you want to make sure that you've got, the proper coverage. Look for different deductibles that might help offset some of those premium increases. Take a look and see if there's some other companies available. But frame houses are definitely more expensive to insure, particularly older homes. How old is your roof?
The roof is 05.
Okay, so you're at least getting a Florida Building
because they
Code
lost
new
it during
roof
the
discount,
storms.
so that's
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it this way. I mean, you can look at the positive to everything, Paul. You
Yep.
paid $60 for the house. You're insured for $197. Oops, that candle
Total
just happened.
loss.
The candle
I'm
just
heading-
happened to
I'm
fall
heading up
over.
95.
I don't think he wants to spend the rest of his life in jail. That would be called arson.
I didn't say that, Paul. But
You can't choose a number either. You have to go with the insurance company's valuation. Like if I wanted to just put 100,000 on here, can I do that?
No,
But
you-
I lose a lot of other things that go along with it.
I don't know an insurance company out there that will let you pick a number. They are really strict about doing full replacement cost, and
Right.
most companies say you either take our replacement cost, give or take 5% maybe, but other than that, you either take it or you don't. There's
You
not
don't
there's
get
not
it,
any room to
right.
play.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, I really appreciate it. But hey, one of your other concerns with your rate increase is that you're probably not using post insurance either. So
No, I'll have to stop and check. I did check with a few before I did do my homework, and they were all within the ballpark, a couple of hundred here and there. And stuff.
well, she's going to give you a Comfort Time Live 10% discount. I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
And I'm going to make sure that Tom gets to pay that bill.
You know me.
That would be against the law for me
Yes,
to
it
do.
would
So.
be. It would be. I'm joking on that. All right. Well, Paul, thank you so much for your question because I guarantee you there's probably about 20 or 30. Well, actually, there's only 4 listeners. So there's probably at least 3 or 4 of the other ones.
Number and
Thank you,
contact
Paul.
her and have her look at the
Well, actually, we'll go ahead and give your phone number out right now.
My number is 878-8184. 878-8184.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks a lot,
Bye-bye.
Paul. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Now, I was just joking, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to get like 4 phone calls tomorrow. Well, Tom said you'd give us a discount.
Yeah, 10%.
Yeah, no. I was just joking. That's just joking.
You'll be calling Swap Shop looking for candles.
Well, Tom said that that was a joke.
I'd be very careful. Yeah.
Yes, definitely a joke.
772-340-1590 if you have comments or questions for Kathy, just like Paul did. She actually very intelligently answered that. And you notice that she didn't have any hesitation. That means she knows what she's talking
Yeah,
about.
and she
I've
remained
been doing
cool.
this a long time.
She remained cool when you got out of line too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, since I found out we actually have a camera, I
Yeah.
can't like throw something at him now.
That's
You know, I
right.
just have to pinch
Why-
his leg
why-
under the
why-
table.
Why do you think that I do that? It's because a lot of people, they want to smack me a couple of times. So I have video proof.
Yes.
All right. So before we go to break, we got one question would be: what is typically one of the biggest concerns for homeowners regarding insurance?
I think when we're talking about homeowners, that one of the things that they need to make sure they do is that they understand what their coverages are, and more importantly, what are some of the major exclusions in their policy.
Okay.
Particularly going into hurricane season. You need to know what your deductible is for hurricanes. You need to know what your insurance company's claim number is, so that if you can't reach your agent, that you know how to file a claim. But really knowing what your coverage are, because you can save money, but you don't always save smartly.
Okay.
So you really want to know when you're buying insurance, and particularly, like I said, when you go into hurricane season, but it's any time.
It's like
I
penny
mean,
wise, pound foolish, or
right,
something like
exactly. And so if you're saving a lot of money, or if you get a comparable quote that you think is comparable, but it's substantially less, then really look for the things that are missing. And I can't stress enough that you need to have an agent that you trust, somebody who will explain what do you have, what are my options, and give it all to you, and then make sure that you're an informed consumer. And if you choose, I don't want this coverage, I understand, I'm self-insuring for these variety of things. Replacement cost on contents is a big item that can save people a lot of money, but it just basically means if you have a claim, all of your stuff is going to be settled at a depreciated value. So what are your shoes worth? What are your clothes worth?
Yeah.
All of your items inside are going to be depreciated. And most people don't have the means to be able to go out and refurnish and restock their entire house without the help of an insurance company, unless
Absolutely.
they're just going to go to a thrift store. So
Real.
know what you're know what you've got, know what you're covered for.
All right, well, when we come back, obviously, we're getting into hurricane season, so we're going to talk about some of the things that you should do to prepare yourself for hurricane season as it pertains to your insurance. When we come back, you'll be listening to Kathy Post from Post Insurance, 340-1590. Stay tuned.
Gee, you're getting good at that.
Elite Electric.
We can do it.
Elite Electric.
There's nothing to it.
Elite Electric.
Ooh, amazing.
Elite Electric.
Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie.
Elite Electric specializes in all of your electrical needs, from security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Elite Electric has been family owned and operated on the Treasure Coast since 1988, and they're recommended by Comfort Time Live. Visit online at eliteelectricandair.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live every Thursday evening at 6:05 on WPSL 1590.
No matter what you want, just pick up your phone, say, come on, Elite.
And we'll get the job done.
We can do it.
Elite Electric.
There's nothing to it.
Elite Electric.
Known for helping you keep that spark, now they'll help you keep cool. Elite Electric and Air, the official air conditioning sponsor of Comfort Time Live, has provided the best in heating and cooling customer service since 1988. If your electric bill is costing you more than 12 cents per square foot under air, you may be overpaying the utility company. Elite Electric and Air can help put that cash back in your pocket. Call Elite Electric and Air with 24-hour service. Dial 340-3797. That's 340-3797.
We're going to have to consult one of the Treasure Coast's most knowledgeable rock and roll gurus. You can tell us, is that Steve Vai playing the guitar in your music theme? Sounds like it.
Well, I tell you, there's a lot of people that can play a lot of different guitar solos, so you could never tell.
Yeah, but they don't have that handle on the top of the guitar and all those extra gadgets. Oh, welcome back to Comfort Time Live. We're back on the air, Tom. Sorry about that.
Welcome back to Comfort Time Live. Remember, ComfortTimeLive.com, all one word, Comfort Time Live. Just haphazardly type it into Google, and the first 4 pages will pop up.
Wow.
So you can click on it. Yeah, even if you haphazardly type in my name, you'll find out all kinds of weird stuff. So type that into Google. Don't hesitate.
And if you misspell his name, never mind. We won't.
And we're here tonight with Kathy Post from Post Insurance. Now, if you want to give Kathy a call after the show,
I won't be there.
this isn't your cell phone?
No, sir.
Oh, well, wait a minute now. At Comfort Time Live, we talk about the best in customer service, okay?
Oh, no.
And the best in customer service is your personal phone number, and we ask our guests to only call after 12 midnight.
Well, I actually had a client call me at 2 in the morning after he ran into a tree on Indian River Drive.
Oh, was that the commercial on the radio? No, you can actually give Kathy's office a call at 772-878-8184, or you can actually go right online to insurewithpost.com, www.insurewithpost.com, and that'll go right to her website. She'll be able to help you out with any questions, just like Paul had. If you folks have questions about your automobile or your home, well, what we're talking about now is homeowners insurance as it pertains to hurricanes and what you should do to make sure that you're protected. What would you say are some of the biggest key things that people should look for? I know you talked about a couple of them briefly before we went to break, but what are some of the key things for hurricane season that people should really prepare for so that if anything does happen, that they are ready?
I think one of the most important things is to video or take pictures of your home, the inside of your home.
Oh, of your home. Okay.
The inside of your home, yes. Who set me up with this? It really, with hurricanes, it's not as much of a problem because most houses don't get completely blown away like, they do in other parts of the country. But when you have a fire, if you had to think about everything that was in your house and had to replace all that or document that to an insurance
I don't even
company.
remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
Right. Can you tell me how many, well, I can't tell you how many pairs of shoes I have, but people just don't know what they have. And when
Shoes
you're
and
under
chocolate.
the duress, and, it's a very tragic time when you have any kind of an insurance claim. And so you don't have to prove everything, but it really helps if you have pictures to help jog your own memory. So I just encourage everybody, take your cell phone, if you've got a video camera, walk from room to room and just click, 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 store them someplace that's not in your home. Because if the house goes up in flames, you don't want that to
Well,
go
that makes
with
a
it.
lot of sense.
It does. You should send it, back in the day we used to, do video and things
Right.
like that, and we would encourage people, send it to somebody that lives out of state
Okay.
so that then they could get it
Oh,
back to
wow.
you. But nowadays you can put it on, your web or your Google or, whatever, and store that so that you can quickly get to it. So that would be my first thing. As I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that you have your insurance policy, the claim number, all that stuff readily available so that if you have to evacuate, that you can take it with you quickly. You need to have a camera. Waterproof would be our preference. You need to have some sort of plastic bags and stuff so that if you do take pictures with disposable cameras, you can put them in there so they don't get
Okay.
damaged after the fact. And then you just want to know that when you leave your home, that you're keeping it safe and secure. If you have to evacuate, make sure it's locked up tight and, do all the things that you need to do. If you've got shutters, please make sure you put up your shutters, particularly if you're getting a hurricane shutter discount,
Right.
which most people do. So you want to make sure you put up your shutters and be prepared, and do those kinds of things in advance.
Okay. Now, is there a specific time that the insurance companies like to see that you put the shutters up, or?
Not necessarily. You just
okay.
want to make sure they're up, well before the storm hits.
Right.
We don't like seeing people out there last minute.
Yeah,
but I also
why it's 90-mile-an-hour
right,
winds.
exactly. But I know there's a lot of people who don't really like putting up shutters. It's
Right.
it's quite daunting sometimes.
Hard to hold on to them things when the wind's blowing.
Yeah, when
It's
you're
hard to
sit-
hang on to
yeah,
'em when
especially
it's
when
not
you're sitting
blowing.
in your kayak trying to do it at the same
Right.
time with the water rising. And since I mentioned that, let me just say too, with your homeowners insurance, one of the things that you want to really want to know is that flooding, which is rising water tidal action, that is not covered under your homeowners insurance policy.
Okay, so hurricanes bring rain and wind,
Yes.
but flood insurance is not automatically covered.
Correct. So flood is defined as rising water or tidal action. So
Okay.
if it rains and rains and rains and the streets fill up and and it floods your home, that is considered a flood, and that is specifically excluded under every homeowner policy. It's never included. You have to buy that as
Wow.
a separate policy for flood insurance. Now, if the wind blows your roof off and the rain comes in, that is covered under your homeowner's policy
Okay.
because that is not flooding.
Okay.
If a tree lands on your house because of the wind and it puts a hole in it and then water comes in, that is covered under your homeowner's
That's not
policy.
flooding, okay.
That's not flooding. But rising water is considered flooding, and it would not be covered under a homeowner's policy. So the government and FEMA have been going around and changing flood zones, and people ask me all the time, well, I'm not in a flood zone, do I need flood insurance? Well, the bottom line is Florida, all of Florida is a flood zone. And what areas used to be a swamp, they've pushed dirt around and they've added some retention ponds, and so now they're not considered high-risk flood zones,
Right.
but they can still flood. And I think there's a lot of us and a lot of consumers who are under the assumption that because FEMA says I'm not in a flood zone or high risk flood zone, I don't need flood insurance, and that is far from the truth, because even a small amount of water in your home can cause thousands and thousands of dollars worth of damage. And I live in the St. Lucie West area, not a flood zone, and in 2 storms within the last 3 years, I have had water flowing through my garage. So not a flood zone, water flowing through my garage. So
Do you have
thankful.
flood insurance?
I do have flood insurance, but I was very thankful because we just picked lots of things up and we didn't have a lot of damage, so I did not have to file a claim. But 3 more inches of water and it would have been flowing through my house, and I
Wow.
could have had significant damage. So I'm a big believer in flood insurance, and if you're not in a high-risk flood zone, you can buy it for anywhere from $200 to $300 and have that peace of
that's
mind.
A year.
A year,
Oh,
yes.
that's not too bad. Break that up over 12. Well, actually, payments for insurance are quarterly,
For flood insurance, it's all at once.
all at once.
It's a federal program
okay.
by the government, so
Oh, so yeah, they want all their
yeah,
money
they want
up
all their money.
front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't get it. But other policies, different types of policies, have different payment plans available.
Okay.
So think flood insurance.
Okay, yeah, that definitely. And that was actually when I did own a house. That was one thing. I mean, they told me that I wasn't in a flood zone, but it's you never know.
When you see the water rising, and you think, "Oh gosh, I should have bought that flood insurance."
Yeah, and
you know.
can't get on the phone. Can I get
You
on the phone with
can't.
you right away?
No, and good point. With flood insurance, there is always a 30-day wait unless it is for a house closing. So
Oh, okay.
if you decide you want flood insurance and you want it to be effective for August 1st, you better buy it before July 1st because
Wow.
there will be a 30-day wait. So you cannot wait until the storm is out there or that we've had days and days worth of rain. And that's what happens. We have rains like we've had, and then the grounds get saturated, and then we get storms, and then
People
all of a
start
sudden,
calling.
and then we get too
And
much
there's not
rain.
a thing you can do. And of
Right.
course, they're going to be mad.
They're going to be mad
Yeah.
because they can't buy it, or and there's so many things that work the water system here.
Mhm.
So we saw some flooding in Port St. Lucie back in Faye, Tropical Storm Faye, and it had a lot to do with the drainage and how the waters were being released. And so there's a lot of things that consumers don't necessarily have control over, and so they think it's not going to flood, but then different.
Yeah, because even if you're not in a flood zone, if some of the other stuff that allows the drainage to go stops, everybody's flooding
Exactly.
no matter what.
And that's what we saw with
and you
Tropical
guys and it
Storm
wouldn't be
Faye.
covered.
Right. Exactly.
Even if they're not listed in a flood zone, and it floods, somebody can't come back and say, well, I'm not in a flood zone, so I didn't need coverage, but now I'm still not covered.
They're still not covered.
And they-
Exactly.
Wow. So
And you can get some assistance, but it's generally loans and things
Right.
like that. You're not going to get free money from the federal government if you chose not to buy flood insurance and then you flood. You're not going to get free money from the federal government.
unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
So be prepared with that flood.
Now,
Keep a J job, right?
yeah, right. Now, our Comfort Time Live, one of the big things that we focus on is helping to educate people on proper questions that they should ask when they go to their insurance companies. Because obviously we know that there is, no matter what industry or what business, there's unethical people out there. And there's people that, because it will end up costing them as a business, well, they kind of hold back on some of the things unless somebody asks the proper question. What would some of those key questions be that our listeners should be asking?
Well, I think from the consumer's perspective, they first of all, they do not want to hide anything. Remember that an insurance application and a policy is a contract. It is a legal contract. So when I have you and I ask you the questions and we fill out this application and you sign it, you're signing that everything is true, and then the insurance company is saying, because everything you've told me is true, I'm willing to enter into this contract. So you pay your premium and we're going to pay providing the coverage is there for when there's a claim. So people should not hide things thinking that, oh, my insurance company, they're not going to find out, or they're not going to issue a policy if they know that this is what's happened. Because what will happen is if you're untruthful on an application, then they will come back after the fact if there's a claim and they will deny it. And then they'll say, sorry, you lied or you misrepresented the application. And this can be things from homeowner applications, car insurance. Oh, I forgot to tell you about my 17-year-old son who has a DUI. Oh, he's in the household. You forgot to tell us that.
Ooh.
So you want to be as truthful as possible so that it doesn't come and bite you after the fact when you have a claim.
Especially if if you have a child who's driving in the house. I know you're supposed to mention that. And imagine if they get caught driving the car and get into an accident, what would happen then?
If it was not disclosed on the application at that time, then likely the insurance company would deny the claim.
What if I already had the application, I've had the insurance for a little bit, the child moved into my household, was of driving age.
You have a responsibility to notify the insurance company of any changes within 30
and if
days.
we don't, and they're driving the car and get into an accident, you could deny the claim.
They could
Not
deny
you,
the
but
claim. They
an
could deny
insurance
the claim.
company
Absolutely.
deny the claim.
They could.
Wow.
They absolutely could.
I had that. She doesn't live with me anymore, but
Yes. And people want to save money and they think that they're doing the right thing,
Yeah,
but you really want to be truthful. The other thing that consumers really want to do is they want to read the entire application before they sign it, because you're trusting that somebody else has put in all the correct information
right.
to this contract that you're signing, and you want to make sure you read it. And sometimes they're 2 pages, 3 pages. I mean, it can be quite the task, but you want to make sure that what you're signing and initially is correct, so that the information isn't going to be compromised at a later time.
Would it be
So
smart to have an attorney look at them? Or is that a little bit overkill?
It's probably a little overkill unless you're talking about, business insurance or
Okay.
something that's much more complicated, or if there's things that you don't understand.
All right.
Then absolutely, if
Okay.
you feel like that's necessary. But most of the applications are written pretty easily to
Okay.
understand, very much in layman's
And
terms.
you can take that with you, go home before you sign it, read over everything.
You can definitely ask to do that. And in a lot of cases today, because of technology, we will email applications to
Okay.
people for them to read and sign. And then we always tell them if there's any changes that are needed, you want to make sure you indicate those. Make the changes so that we're aware of it. And I forgot to tell you about my Rottweiler. Dogs can be a big problem with homeowners insurance. You don't want to keep
Got to
those
tell you about my
things-
ex-wife.
I forgot I raised pit bulls.
Yes,
Now, homeowners insurance policies do not like certain kind of dogs.
that's
right?
correct. They do not like certain kinds of dogs.
Certain kind of dogs you can't have.
All right, well, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to find out some of the other questions that you should be asking. Of course, if you didn't go to Post Insurance, because they're going to be as truthful as possible to you. So tune in. Give us a call here at the studio, 340-1590. Talk to Kathy Post. You're listening to Comfort Time Live, and we'll be right back.
I'm sorry, Fido. My insurance company says you've got to go.
Elite Electric.
We can do it.
Elite Electric.
There's nothing to it.
Elite Electric.
Ooh, amazing.
Electric specializes in all of your electrical needs, from security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Elite Electric has been family owned and operated on the Treasure Coast since 1988, and they're recommended by Comfort Time Live. Visit online at eliteelectricandair.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live every Thursday evening at 6:05 on WPSL 1590.
No matter what you want, just pick up your phone, say, come on, Elite.
And we'll get the job done.
We can do it.
Elite Electric.
There's nothing to it.
Elite Electric.
Known for helping you keep that spark, now they'll help you keep cool. Elite Electric and Air, the official air conditioning sponsor of Comfort Time Live, has provided the best in heating and cooling customer service since 1988. If your electric bill is costing you more than 12 cents per square foot under air, you may be overpaying the utility company. Elite Electric and Air can help put that cash back in your pocket. Call Elite Electric and Air with 24-hour service. Dial 340-3797. That's 340-3797.
6:52 at WPSL, the talk of the Treasure Coast. Now back to Comfort Time Live with Tom Platania.
All right, you know you're getting old when somebody hands you a business card and you got to put on your glasses to read it.
I'll have you know I resemble that.
Well, I should be talking. You guys are wearing them all the time. Me, I guess I should feel. I don't know.
I don't need glasses. It's hearing is where I'm suffering.
What? Huh?
Did you say something?
No. What?
I thought I was saying something.
All right. Well, welcome back to Comfort Time Live. We're here with Kathy Post from Post Insurance. Give us a call here at the studio, 340-1590. But if you'd like to call Kathy after the show.
Tomorrow.
I'm trying. Give Kathy a call tomorrow. She'll be in her office as early as 5:30. No, I'm teasing. Give her a call at 772-878-8184, and one of her friendly team members will be more than happy to take your call and pass you on to Kathy so she can answer any of your home or automotive questions as pertaining to anything you can think of. And what we're talking about today, we're focusing on hurricanes. Kathy's going to be back with us at another date, but today we're focusing on hurricanes. And what other type of things do you recommend we talk about?
I think the last thing I really want to make sure that I leave everyone with is if you do have damage from a hurricane, please be patient. Insurance companies handle claims kind of like triage.
Yeah, they're not working at 6:30, 6, 7 o'clock at night.
Well, actually, they do. As soon as a storm is passed and the adjusters can be brought in safely,
right.
It has to be a safe environment. Otherwise, insurance companies will not bring them in. And this was a problem during Francis, Jean, Charlie when we had all the back-to-back storms because we brought in adjusters and then we quickly had to evacuate them because there was another storm coming.
Oh, wow, okay.
So people need to understand that if you have damage, insurance companies will see you based on the severity of your damage. They're going to see people who have no home and no place to live before they're going to see somebody who just has a couple of screens blown out.
Oh, so if my 75-inch flat screen fell over during the storm, I'm probably not going to be at the top of their list?
You probably won't be. So, well, it depends. If Florida State's getting ready to play, you might be at the top of the list. So, with that, be very patient, particularly if you don't have a lot of damage. Take your photos of any damage that you do have, and then it's your responsibility to mitigate any further damage. So if you've got some windows blown out, cover them, put some plywood up. You need to do anything that you can to mitigate any further damage to prevent anything else from happening until the adjuster can get there. You don't want to make any repairs. If anything is damaged, you don't want to throw it away. If you've got, wet carpet and some things like that that you need to remove and put in your garage, stuff like that, that's okay. You don't want to throw anything away. You want to take pictures and do anything that you can to prevent anything further from happening.
This is why we were seeing blue tarps all over roofs for so long.
Right.
Yes.
Now, question,
Yes.
One of our new sponsors, United Water Restoration, obviously they're going to be a part of some of that stuff, but is if the insurance adjusters aren't able to get out there in time, if a company like that, is it recommended that somebody were to call them before or after the adjuster?
If you have water damage, you want to call a restoration company right away.
Okay.
Now, you might want to check with your insurance company first because
Okay.
sometimes they have some relationships with different restoration
Okay.
companies. But you want to call them right away. You call the insurance company, you report the claim, then you call a
Okay.
restoration, somebody who can extract the water.
Okay.
And then you stop there. And
Right.
usually they'll come in, extract the water, put up the fans, and then they'll wait for the adjuster. And a lot of times, they work directly with adjusters as well.
Okay.
But you want to make sure you get that water out as quick as possible because then you get into mold issues
Oh,
and
yeah.
a lot of further damage that you
That's
don't want
something
to
we've
have.
talked about on the
Yes.
show before. Now, the adjusters are not from your company; they're from the insurance companies directly.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Some insurance companies hire them and they work for the company, and sometimes there are third-party,
Okay.
independent adjusters also that work for the insurance companies that handle the claims. And if it's a massive enough storm, or we have problems like Francis and Jean, then sometimes we'll bring in adjusters. The insurance companies bring in adjusters from other states as well.
Right.
So.
All right. Now, kind of back to Paul's question, with kind of the rising cost of insurance, unfortunately for Paul, and kind of the status of the economy, what most people are seeing going on. What should some of our listeners be concerned about regarding not having insurance on their home?
Well, if you have a mortgage, you have to have insurance. But we have, more and more people nowadays who are choosing to go without insurance. And what I would say is look for options. You can buy homeowners insurance without hurricane coverage,
Okay.
which would still give you fire insurance and liability. We can't even touch on, we don't have time to talk about liability, but if somebody gets hurt and you get sued, so you can buy a policy covering fire and liability, even if you don't want to protect yourself against wind,
Right.
hurricanes. So, and those policies can be relatively inexpensive. So I would say that would be a good option. If that's still out of your price range, then consider buying liability only. Because again, if you get sued, that could cost you a whole lot of money between attorney fees and things like that, where a homeowner's policy may jump in and take care of that. So there are different options that you should consider. And again, back to trusting your agent, talking to your agent. What do you think I should do, rather than just saying, I'm
Kathy
fed up
Post.
with my Kathy Post. thank you.
Subliminal. Kathy Post.
I'm fed up with my insurance. It's out of sight. I don't want to pay it anymore, and just not paying it. Really talk to your agent and get
Okay.
their opinion on what are your different options.
Good. Now, what type of what part of the insurance is it the liability if something from your patio or something from your house was to fly into a next door neighbor's home and damage their home? What coverage would you have to have that would cover you against that? Anything?
No.
No.
So if something from your house flies into my house and causes damage,
Yes.
unless there was some strange reason why you were negligent, then my policy would have to pay for those damages. Your policy would not.
Oh.
Likewise, if you have a tree in your yard and it
Yeah.
falls on my house, your policy's not paying. My policy is.
So if any troubles with
So-
your neighbors, just put a big empty plant pot up there on the porch railing when the hurricane.
Wow, because I can't remember who it was that asked that question, or I heard it on something that somebody was asking about that. I think it was on Facebook. Somebody was asking the question that and was there covered? So it would be the person's house that got hit that would have to cover it,
Yes.
and the other person would probably end up having paid.
Be like any
deductibles
other
or something
debris.
like that.
Could
Any
be.
other debris, like
Yeah.
it could have
Right.
been a branch.
Yeah.
And just remember, there's a lot of damage that happens, water damage,
Right.
pipes breaking, fires, theft, burglaries. There's
All
a lot
kinds
of
of
other
stuff.
things covered under homeowners besides just hurricanes.
All right, well, Kathy's going to be back on with us. So if you had any questions that you wanted to ask this week, well, she's going to be back on with us probably sometime in maybe August or, maybe 2022. I don't know. So we'll figure out a good date to get Kathy back on. Remember to give her a call, 878-8184, but not tonight, tomorrow morning, or go to insurewithpost.com.
Hey,
Thanks.
that's a good domain. Insurewithpost.com. I like
There
that.
you
Yeah,
go.
we came up with that ourselves.
Well, thanks for listening this evening, folks, and I appreciate it. Now, we won't be here next week, but we'll be back July 11th with United Water Restorations. Have a great evening, and thank you to Kathy Post for being on the show.
Thanks, Tom.
Listen in every Thursday evening in the 6 o'clock hour for Comfort Time Live. To watch this show in its entirety, just a few minutes after the show, head on over to www.comforttimelive.com. It'll also be in the archives at WPSLTV.com. Have a great evening, and thanks for listening in.